Alright, so here's the setup. It's a strange situation. Over here, in that bright glary spot, is Michelle's lamp. Now that is a Hue bulb, one of the Philips programmable bulbs. Now over here, on the wall, and I'll take it off and take it in the light where it'll be easier to see, is one of the Hue remote lights. Now note, I can lower it, I can raise it, and of course I can turn it on and off. And that is the problem. Every night, for days, if not weeks, we turn this off, we leave the room, and a very, very short time later, the light comes back on by itself. I've checked through the IFTTT, there's nothing there. I've checked through the Hue programming, there's nothing there. There is no reason for that light to come back on, but almost as soon as I walk out the door, it comes on, and Michelle's comes in whining about it. I mean, instead of turning it off, which she has to pass right by the light switch on the way to come out and complain.
I just
That's
feel
enough.
like I should inform you of that information.
That's what she says, and we'll take that, but, day after day, I think, at this point. So, I've said goodnight to Michelle. There's Michelle. She's all tucked away in her bed. Yes, there she is. And we're going to just recreate the conditions. I'm going to sit down in this chair.
Hey,
and
that's my Doctor Who coat.
Oh, huh? You don't want me sitting on it, do you?
No.
Okay, then. I'm going to sit down in this chair, and I'm going to put the light switch back in the wall thing. I'm going to turn the light off. I'm going to sit here, and we're going to watch that light and see if it will come back on. There is a time limit. We will eventually give up and think this is ridiculous. And of course, it's going to be dark in here too. So the video is going to suck unless the light comes back on. So, lights out. Good night.
Good night.
Now, as you can see, you can't see. But I've made my way in the dark to the chair. I am sitting in the chair. Now, the camera is facing me, the light is behind me. We're expecting the light to come back on. What we're hoping, never mind what we're hoping.
It's gonna come on as soon as you walk out.
It's possible. It's very likely. And it's done it more than once in a single night. Now, if this were like some programmed thing that was stuck in the Hue bulbs or something, then I would expect it to only happen once a night at a set time. But it's happened to her 2 or 3 times on occasion.
Batman says hi.
Yes.
What?
Of course, I'm not 100% convinced this isn't a practical joke that Michelle's playing.
What?
But,
Do you think I'd go through all the effort to get out of this comfy bed with all my stuffed animals to go turn the light on?
oh, you don't know how far people in this family will go for a practical joke, do you?
I have no problem with a good practical joke, but it just seems like too much effort after I've gotten all tucked in bed with my stuffed animals and all, and then I have to get up, disturb that, and go turn the lights on. Haven't you actually been in the room when the lights come on?
No.
Oh.
Nope. As far as I know, you're the only one who's been in the room when the lights come on. And in this case, I will promise you it was not me.
At first I thought it was you turning the lights back.
Well, I could understand that because obviously I have computer control of the lights, but no, it's not. It's definitely not. I'll turn them on in the morning when you need to wake up, and but No, not when it's bedtime. Well, this has been one big goose egg. It's a question of whether or not Michelle is emitting some sort of internal psychic power that's, teenage girls, poltergeist phenomena, that kind of thing. That's a possibility. But if you believe in that kind of crap. But it has not come on. I'm not forgetting the name. Last night I suggested that she may have some mutant metahuman superpower, and that from this point on her name would be the Y Flyer. And she seems inordinately pleased with that. Well, but it is not going to happen tonight. Has it ever happened on a Saturday night?
Do you think I remember these things?
Yeah. Like, they don't ask me questions like that. All right. I'm going to give you another hug. Whoop. Don't poke your eye out. I'm going to leave the room. But if the light comes on, come tell me in this case. And don't touch it.
Okay.
No, this is not gone to plan. We're going to wait outside the door. Still nothing. Still nothing. That's not the sound of a haunting. That's the sound of a nose being blown. There may still be sickness in the house, but no sign of the light. We'll find out. Hey, this might be the most tedious episode of Tedium Unlimited ever. So here's what I didn't say when I was in Michelle's room. Because I was sitting there with my back to the lamp, but I had the camera like I do now facing towards me and with the lamp behind me. And although I don't believe it for a second, the thought just occurred to me that that was the perfect setup for a horror film. This is the first time we'd have a camera on the light, and there'd be like some sort of hobgoblin back there fooling around with the lights. And that would be awful because the light would come on and I'd be staring at something standing behind my back. And I thought, yeah, I'm not going to say that out loud to Michelle because that will probably keep her awake all night long. It might keep me awake all night long too. I think it's more likely something wrong with the switch, is my thought. I think maybe there's a imperfection in the switch or something that's causing it to do that. We're not having that problem with James's light. If it happens, I almost took them out and basically struck the association between the lights and the thing, and then swapped them so that James's was using the switch that's in Michelle's room. And I may still do that if the problem continues, just to try to diagnose it. Otherwise, it's poltergeist. It's Michelle's teenage hormones thinking about Nightwing. Yeah. It's been over 2 hours now, and Michelle's light has not come on tonight. Which is weird because it has done it every night this week. And some nights more than once. The mystery does not yet have a pattern. I don't know what to think about it. It's got to be the switch. It's got to be the switch somehow. I've had an epiphany. There's one other thing that this could be, and if you'll go back to Tedium Unlimited 215, there's a clue there. Now, I haven't been able to verify this yet, but I suspect that I've got it. So here's what it is. It's a phenomena that has to do with the Hue bulbs. Now, I can't show you the Hue bulbs because the control's on my iPhone and my iPhone is recording, so I can't do anything with that light right there, which has a Hue bulb in it. But let me show you something. To make this work, the Hue bulb has to be left on. Obviously, it has to have power. Now, here's a switch, and I'm just going to turn it off. Now I've turned the light off, and I'm going to turn it back on. Oh, look at that. You see, the default behavior for a Hue bulb, no matter what the programming is that if you turn the power off, when you turn it back on, the light comes on. So that means if you have your whole house powered up and you have Hue bulbs in there and you have a power failure, when the power comes back on, all the lights are going to come on, which you may or may not want. But that's the way it works. Now, if you'll recall back at TU 215, 214, whatever it was, we had problems with some of the lights, including the ceiling light in Michelle's room was flickering in a fashion that was consistent with a loose wire and something causing some movement. And we had that fixed. Now, the circuitry in the ceiling is different from the circuitry in the walls in that room. But what if something is causing the light that she has the Hue bulb in, which is a floor lamp, which is plugged into the wall? What if she's moved stuff around in her room and her chairs are butted up against it, or the plug's been pulled partially out and it's just right on the edge? Or and when the power, when it goes off, it cools a little bit and then it kicks off and on, and that's what's causing it to come back on. Because that makes sense, because it never seems to go off when we don't want it to. It's only that it comes on when we don't want it to. So no power to that circuit momentarily. I'm not sure how little it would take, and the light comes back on. That's a real possibility. And tomorrow I will check the plugs and everything, and hopefully it won't be another wiring visit, but we'll try the plugs. And the lamp. Could be the lamp itself. Maybe there's a defect in the lamp. Yeah. I think we're on it now. I think my theory about the light is wrong. I tested it out today. I tried everything I could think of to shake, move, rattle, disturb, or in any way cause that thing to flicker on and off, and it just simply didn't. So it's still something else. I'm going to call it quits for the day here. Not expecting to do anything else. Didn't really do anything today. Did some shopping. And I'm making a beer right there. Well, it looks a little in need of a stir, but that's spaghetti sauce. Actually, meat sauce, and it smells so good. It's been cooking in the crock pot all day. So, late evening, we're going to have spaghetti, or technically speaking, we're going to have a linguine, which is like spaghetti, only flat and funny. I don't know. Anyway, that's it. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll be seeing you again on the flip side.